Part 135. Amnesiac Bigshot remembers only me, the boss lost his memory and only remembers me. Author, Ding Jiashu. Chapter 1341. What's going on with the fourth person? Wen Qiao was lying on the sofa, crossing his legs and reading the words on it, the fourth son of Xiao Lianjun, the Heikan food tycoon. Wen Qiao was suspicious. I know that Xiao Lianjun has been opening a restaurant since the Republic of China. Their ancestors went to Hong Kong in the 1950s and returned to Heikan in the 1990s. They are considered a century-old family. So Ce said calmly, you know quite a lot. When it comes to collecting information, he is indeed not as good as Hezawei. Hezawei is like a spy, and there seems to be nothing he doesn't know. Wen Qiao frowned. But why do I remember that Xiao Lianjun only has 3 sons? What does it mean when it says 4 sons? So Ce took the book from her hand and said, did you remember correctly? There are really only 3 sons. When he asked this, Wen Qiao became a little unsure, so she sent a message to Lu Yuyu. Lu Yuyu was familiar with the secrets and gossips of the entertainment industry and wealthy families. She knew everything about them, and there was no secret that she didn't know. Yuyu can be considered an old tool person. Lu Yuyu immediately relished it. Yes, Mr. Xiao has 3 sons and 6 daughters, a total of 9 children, and they were born to him by 3 wives. If they are divided equally, he will have 3 in one person. Wen Qiao hung up the phone and looked at her uncle. Look, Xiao Lianjun does have 3 sons. The eldest son is 44 years old this year, the second son is 38 years old, and the youngest son is 26 years old. I heard that he was abroad just now. Finished graduate school at an Ivy League school. So Ce frowned, call Hezawei and ask. So Hezawei invited Wen Qiao to meet the next day. Hezawei made a reservation at the Western restaurant. When Wen Qiao arrived, he was already sitting on the window seat. Walking over from a distance, Wen Qiao felt that this man's temperament had changed a bit compared to before. He was colder than before, and the expression in his eyes clearly indicated the silence of all living beings. He seemed to be an aloof creator with no emotions or desires. Wen Qiao approached, and his secretary Teresa pulled out the chair for her to sit down. Hezawei's mouth opposite him curved. He really might as well stop smiling, like the satisfied smile of an executioner when he sees his satisfied prey. This smile, it's really scary. I want to ask about the information you gave me about Xiao Lianjun's 4th son. As far as I know, Xiao Lianjun does not have a 4th son. The waiter in the restaurant served the appetizer, French pancakes with chicken oil, mushrooms and peppers. Hezawei picked up a knife and fork and slowly cut the pancakes in front of him. I can only tell you one thing. The news I gave you is absolutely nothing wrong. Does Miss Wen also need me to feed her? Can't she go investigate on her own? Wen Qiao's hand holding the knife and fork clenched slightly. This man's words were too unpleasant. Am I just investigating now? Mister, he didn't say I couldn't investigate you, right? Hezawei picked up the napkin, wiped the corners of his mouth, and smiled. Teresa standing beside her felt like she was facing an enemy. The current gentleman in her family was even less fond of smiling than the previous one. With his smile, life or death could be unpredictable. Sharp-tongued and quick-thinking, Hezawei's smile quickly subsided and he said something that sounded like a compliment. The waiter brought the appetizer goat milk Bavaro. Wen Qiao cut a piece and chewed it slowly. So Mr. He, can you tell me the mystery behind this? What does the 4th son mean? I only provide information, not a priest who answers questions. If you have any questions, just go to Xiao's house and ask. Amnesiac Bigshot remembers only me, the boss lost his memory and only remembers me. Author, Ding Jiashu. Chapter 1342. Wen Qiao took a sip of champagne and said with a cold expression, in that case, Mister, he shouldn't ask me out and waste my time. Teresa almost covered Wen Qiao's mouth. Miss Wen, please stop speaking indiscriminately. You don't know what kind of inhumane and inhuman demon king is sitting across from you. He Ziwei laughed again. He laughed twice in just one dinner, and Teresa's heart almost stopped with fear. Is this still my fault? Wen Qiao put down his knife and fork. Since Mister he has no information for me, I won't accompany him. After saying that, he took off the napkin on his lap, put it on the table, stood up, and left gracefully. There is no sense of fear at all, and the whole person is free and uninhibited, which is the temperament Teresa envies most. Ziwei's smile turned cold, and Teresa quickly put in a good word for Wen Qiao. Sir, don't be as knowledgeable as her. She is still young and not very sensible. The knife and fork were thrown on the plate, making a clear and harsh sound. Am I angry? Teresa dared not speak. The man picked up the napkin with his slender fingers and wiped the corners of his mouth. The napkin was thrown on the table. The man's voice was deep, with a little bit of unnoticeable satisfaction. She looks exactly like me. Wen Qiao went to Fu Nanli's residence. Do you know the Xiao family, the catering tycoon? Fu Nanli was checking emails, and the hand that clicked the mouse paused. Xiao family? Is it the fourth one? Well, the fourth person who can donate blood to me is said to be the fourth son of the Xiao family. Fu Nanli stopped what he was doing completely and looked a little suspicious. The Fu family and the Xiao family have little contact, but the Xiao family can be regarded as a well-established and famous family in Haikan. It not only has the catering industry, but also has many industries. Xiao Lianjun was also a playboy when he was young and divorced twice. A total of 3 wives, 9 children, and 3 sons. I have never heard of him having any 4 sons. There's none. Fu Nanli nodded, indeed not. Although he was not familiar with the Xiao family, he could still be sure of this. Wen Qiao was puzzled. Then I'll go to Xiao's house tomorrow and ask. I'll send a greeting to the Xiao family. Not to mention in Haikan, but also in the whole country, who would not give Mr. Fu his face? However, the Xiao family did not give him this face and directly replied to the post, saying that Mr. Xiao was not in good health recently and was in bed. Wen Qiao raised his eyebrows when he saw this reply. Is he sick? Isn't that just right? I'm a doctor, so I can just go and see him. Facts have proved that Wen Qiao is still too naive when it comes to human relations. It is not really that he is ill, but an excuse to refuse. However, Fu Nanli could not bear to expose the cruel facts directly in front of her eyes, so he sent her another letter. Please go out. There was another reply to Fu Nanli soon, saying that there was nothing serious wrong with him but that he just needed to rest. Now Wen Qiao finally figured out that Xiao Lianjun was trying to deal with her and just didn't want to meet her. Maybe it's because his father just passed away recently, so he's emotionally unstable and it's not convenient for him to see guests. Wen Qiao pouted, then just wait. It can only be the... However, something happened to Zhonghuan Group. In the morning, Fu Chuan took a stack of documents and entered Fu Nanli's office. You and the Yuan family are destined. What's the meaning? Fu Chuan put the information in his hand. The second young master Yuan, who was aloof and refused to help us, has returned to Haikan. Fu Nanli's eyes were indifferent. What is he doing back to Haikan? You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Amnesiac Bigshot remembers only me. The boss lost his memory and only remembers me. Author, Ding Jiashu. Chapter 1343. Because their family has a resort project in Haikan, they have encountered some problems recently. In a newly developed attraction in Shangri-La, he has taken over the development of the resort, but now there are some problems. The environmental impact assessment test has not passed. The problem is a bit big. The Yuan family can't handle the local government, so Yuan Qinglang and Yuan Ershao are back, looking for connections everywhere. Fu Nanli threw the information aside. Yes, I understand. I'll probably come to you eventually. After all, the Fu family also has many real estate projects in the south, and has always had a harmonious relationship with the local government. With such a strong personal connection, Yuan Qinglang is not stupid. Sure enough, 3 days later, Fu Nanli received an invitation from Yuan Qinglang to entertain him at the Yuan family's mansion. It was Yuan Qinglang himself who came, and he couldn't even enter the gate at the foot of Fujia Mountain. Yuan Ershao could only talk to the security guard at the door. I'm sorry, our young master is very busy, so I can't see you. Yuan Qinglang lost all face and felt resentful that Fu Nanli didn't give him any face, but he had to compromise and pray in a low voice. His intestines were almost filled with regret. If he had agreed when Fu Chuan came to him, how could things like this happen now? Fu Nanli really didn't give him face, and even refused to let him in. The black car slowly drove down the winding mountain road. Yuan Qinglang immediately straightened his clothes and straightened his clothes. As soon as the car came out, he immediately ran over and said without losing his face, young Master Fu, listen to me. The backseat window of the black Rolls-Royce slowly lowered, and the man's stern face showed no expression. You have 2 minutes. This was a condition. Yuan Qinglang knew it and said quickly, Mr. Fu, I'm really sorry about what happened last time. I was afraid of people from the Iban family, so I couldn't help you solve the problem at the first time. I sincerely regret it, and if given another chance, I will help you deal with the Iban family without hesitation. You have 1 minute left, the man said coldly. Yuan Qinglang said quickly, as long as you can help me this time, no matter what you want, I will satisfy you. Fu Nanli looked at him casually, and lightly opened his thin lips, I'll think about it. After saying that, the car window slowly rose, and the car gradually moved away from Yuan Qinglang. His assistant asked anxiously, will Mr. Fu help? Yuan Qinglang gritted his teeth, it's hard to say. Although he is young and a few years younger than me, people in the circle say that he is sinister and cunning. He is not allowed to benefit. There is no way he can help me. What if he opens his mouth like a lion? Master, will you satisfy him? It depends on what he wants. If he doesn't lose a big piece of meat this time, he will definitely not be able to solve the problem of the resort smoothly. Forget it, let it be fate. Within 2 days, Fu Nanli's conditions came out. He wanted a piece of land in Xinjiang, a large piece of land. The Yuan family's ancestors were born in Xinjiang, and later moved to Haikan, and then moved their family to Dubai. Today, they still have a large land of 2,000 acres in Xinjiang. When Yuan Qinglang got the news, he was a little confused. Their family has a piece of land in the west, but it is not developed there, and it is based on barren mountains. There is no way to build houses or develop business districts, so the land has been there for a long time. In recent years, it has been I made some money growing cantaloupes. Is Fu Nanli going to return to his roots and become a farmer? Amnesiac Bigshot remembers only me, the boss lost his memory and only remembers me. Author, Ding Jiashu. Chapter 1344. Yuan Qinglang seemed to be afraid that Fu Nanli would go back on his word, so he quickly agreed and laughed at Fu Nanli in his heart for nothing more than that. People outside said that he was very shady and rich, so maybe it was all in vain. Therefore, Fu Nanli and Yuan Qinglang signed this land transfer contract, and the 2,000 acres of land in western Xinjiang belonged to Fu Nanli. Fu Nanli also fulfilled his promise and quickly helped Yuan Qinglang solve his resort problem in Shangri-La. Yuan Qinglang returned to Dubai happily. In Fu Nanli's office of Zhonghuan Group, Fu Changxian sat at his desk and said happily, Yuan Qinglang probably thinks he got a big deal. When he knows how much he has lost in the future, do you think he will make trouble? Then let him make trouble, the contract is signed. UNER is about to start a new round of regret. He is not good. He is not a businessman. He has no ability to assess the situation. He is not even willing to help the Fu family. Others want to help but there is no chance, and the UN family the opportunity has been handed to them, but they don't want it. Tisk, I think the UN family is only rich for 3 generations. In UN King Glang's hands, the UN family's foundation will be destroyed. Fu Nanli sneered lightly but did not comment. Time flies by so fast. Wen Qiao and the others' graduation defense was in May. It's now the end of April, and her thesis hasn't been completed yet. Mr. Fu is an orthodox businessman who can't give any advice on music. He regrets not learning some classical music from his father so that he and Wen Qiao can have something in common. The thesis written by Wen Qiao is about the contradiction and fusion of folk music and Western music. It has a large structure. She wrote it with passion and inspiration. She wrote 20,000 words eloquently, but the number of words for her undergraduate thesis was between 6,000 and 8,000 words. What pained her was the deletion. She felt that every word was difficult to delete. After sending it to the teacher, the paper review teacher also said that 20,000 words is just 20,000 words, and there is no need to delete it. At that time, classmate Lu Yuyu had just cut out 3,000 words, which was still half of the target of 6,000 words. When she learned that Wen Qiao had written 20,000 words, she really cried, "Why are there so many differences between people? Why can you write 20,000, but I can only write 3,000? I have checked a lot of information, and I am so afraid that there will be something wrong with it. Wen Qiao, if you need any help from me, just tell me. I'm easier to use than a computer." Wen Qiao is very familiar with folk music and Western music, and his proficiency is at the same level as Lu Yuyu's gossip about the entertainment industry. As long as Lu Yuyu asks, Wen Qiao can give an answer immediately. The defense in May came as scheduled. Wen Qiao and his folk music club passed all the defenses, and Wen Qiao's defense was filmed and became a promotional video in the Yanjian admission brochure. At the same time, Lu Yuyu brought news, Su Luyan is here. Graduation was delayed because she did not complete her credits, failed her graduation thesis, and was unable to participate in her graduation defense. The former alumni of No. 9 Middle School were all shocked. Su Lu was a top student before, but when she got to university, she couldn't even graduate successfully. After all, it was the entertainment industry that confused her, and she lost her true nature. Wen Qiao shook his head and ignored it. He left list building and met Zhuang Yan. Zhuang Yan is now a famous violinist. After graduation, he arranged a world tour, starting from Haikan, and then going all the way to Europe, America, and Australia. The schedule is very full. He and Wen Qiao both entered the school at the S-level and graduated with the S-level. They have become full-level bosses in the eyes of everyone. I wish you a smooth performance. Wen Qiao sincerely wished you. The group of people walked forward along the school's plain path, stopped in front of the red folk music building, and sat on the steps. Lu Yuyu got everyone a bottle of soda, and a group of young people talked about the future in high spirits. Wen Qiao, aren't you going to hold a concert tour? Your folk music club, or add me, no matter how busy you are, I will join. Wen Qiao touched the cold glass bottle and said solemnly, well, there are a lot of things happening this year. It will probably start next year. If everything goes well, concerts will start after June next year. The most important thing at the moment is to save one's life. We haven't collected all the blood yet, so we can put aside all the work matters. Amnesiac Bigshot remembers only me, the boss lost his memory and only remembers me. Author, Ding Jiashu. Chapter 1345. Chuan looked at her sincerely. So, can you attend my concert? Wen Qiao leaned lazily on the steps and glanced at him. Are you inviting me? Why am I the one who won the Lily Gold Award? Am I not worthy of a formal invitation letter? Chuan almost jumped with joy. She agreed. The formal invitation will be sent to your home tomorrow. There will be 2 events in Haikan. Please be sure to attend. Wen Qiao said okay, no problem. Their exchange of Chinese and Western music has aroused a lot of discussion on the internet, and even among their CP fans. Of course, these CP fans are professional CP fans. I hope they can cooperate again and will post on Wen Qiao's WeChat account every day. Bo Xia urged her to share the stage with Chuan again. She also feels that Chuan musical ability is worthy of her admiration. He is both a comrade in arms and an opponent. She still cherishes this feeling of being both an enemy and a friend. When they were talking about the bright future in Minal building, Sulu was sitting in the dormitory with the curtains drawn. Zhao Tong had moved out long ago, and now she lived alone. It's so shameful and humiliating that she can't even graduate successfully. Wen Qiao won the Outstanding Student Award. I heard that many domestic symphony orchestras came to contact her, and some classical music companies wanted to sign her. Some people from Europe, Austria, and other places invited her to join the orchestra as the chief musician. In short, he is the proud son of heaven. On the contrary, she was a complete failure and could not even graduate successfully. Before this, she always thought about defeating Wen Qiao with her own efforts, but at this moment, she discovered that there are some people, she is just favored by God, and has talents that ordinary people can't reach after working hard for a lifetime. There are really some people in this world. A dream that cannot be fulfilled no matter how hard you try. The effort looked so ridiculous, it stung her eyes. She tried her best, but the harder she tried, the more miserable she became. The fall of man occurs in a certain moment, and once the thought arises, there is no turning back. No matter how despicable she was in the past, she could still rely on herself, but at this moment, she wanted to use external help. She is good-looking, with a pure appearance, and is soft and frail. In the circle, there are many big shots who express unspoken intentions to her. In the past, she was quite aloof and looked down upon these things. At this moment, she put her foot on the edge of the quagmire to test. Testing meant that she was willing to step into the quagmire. Those big guys are all married. In this circle, resources are in the hands of the big guys. Even popular stars or top-notch people are in a state of being chosen. She doesn't want to work hard anymore, she wants to take shortcuts. So, she got involved with a certain investment boss in the circle. The reality is not fiction. There are very few bosses like Fu Nanli and Lu Wenzhou. Most of the real bosses are not impressive in appearance. The boss Sulu climbed up to was 43 years old. He was the president of a film and television company. His wife was also a producer in the industry. The couple had their own affairs. As long as it was not exposed, they could do whatever they wanted. The boss looked ordinary. Not too ugly, not too tall, and compared to Chuanyan's youthful appearance, it is naturally incomparable. But she had no choice. For everything she wanted, she could only devote herself to someone she didn't like. A week later, Lu Yu rushed into Wen Qiao's office. Big news. What? You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Amnesiac Bigshot remembers only me, the boss lost his memory and only remembers me. Author, Ding Jiashu. Chapter 1346. Ms. Sulu was originally going to delay her graduation. She didn't complete the credits and failed to pass her graduation thesis. However, I saw her name again on the graduation list. Wen Qiao looked up from the computer screen. Oh, what kind of secret operation is this? Lu Yu shrugged, I don't know what means Miss Su used. Not only did she graduate successfully, I heard that she was also accepted as the heroine of a TV series, a web series, but the production team is not bad, I think she compromised. Although Wen Jiao is in the entertainment industry, he doesn't know much about the dark side of unspoken rules. What kind of compromise? Have some big shots expressed their intention to infiltrate Zhou? Then there must have been others who expressed their intention to infiltrate Sulu. Compared to Miss Su, she has a pretty face. She is young and beautiful. There are too many shortcuts. Wen Jiao lowered his eyes, if she wants to do that, no one can stop her. I just hope that the sponsor she chooses will be more affectionate. If we break up in the future, it will be difficult to find a new wife. Soon it was Yanjin's graduation ceremony. Wen Jiao was wearing a bachelor's uniform and a bachelor's hat, and standing next to him was Mr. Fu. Wen Jiao didn't expect that Fu Nanli would actually offer to accompany her to take photos in front of various famous scenic spots in the school. She thought that a cold-blooded person like Fu Nanli wouldn't do such a down-to-earth thing. Not only that, he also acted as a tool and helped people from their folk music club take many photos. In front of the Minel building, everyone was smiling brightly, and the red building behind was brightly colored. Fu Nanli pressed the shutter to record this touching scene. Then his face darkened, and Zhuang Yan, who was also wearing a bachelor's uniform, stood secretly next to Wen Jiao. He had his own camera, so there was no need to bother him. Zhuang Yan took a lot of photos with Wen Jiao regardless of the livid face of a certain Fu eldest son. The regret left in high school was filled by college. He felt that the current relationship was very good. After taking the photos, he picked up the camera himself. After checking, Wen Jiao was taken to take pictures again. Today she looks like a human being standing on a sign, and it seems that all the students in the school want to take a photo with her. Zhuang Yan walked to Fu Nanli and said, Mr. Fu, I have a girlfriend. Fu Nanli looked stunned, then his expression softened, really? Well, we only started dating recently. As for Wen Jiao, I just treat her as a musically sympathetic partner. You don't have to worry too much. The word very resonant still made Fu Nanli squint. Is it necessary? Yes, Mr. Fu must be aloof. Thank you for being there during her most difficult time. Fu Nanli's face, which had just softened, completely darkened, and his voice was cold. Are you thanking me on behalf of my girlfriend? Did Mr. Zhuang get his identity wrong? Zhuang Yan was at a loss for words. Sorry, I chose the wrong word. Mr. Fu is really picky and likes to find fault with others. In short, I think you two are a perfect match. I wish you happiness. If you get married in the future, please be sure to invite me to your wedding. Let's talk again. How could Mr. Fu surrender with just a few words? He must be more arrogant when he should be arrogant. Wen Jiao, who was in the center of a group of women, felt like he was going to be torn apart. Obviously I came first. Wen Jiao, you have to take a photo with me first. Hey, you've taken more than a dozen photos. Are you finished? That's right. Each person can take no more than 3 pictures. Just stop in moderation, okay? It's hot and classmate Wen really has a headache. Amnesiac Bigshot remembers only me, the boss lost his memory and only remembers me. Author, Ding Jiashu. Chapter 1347. Not only the female students, but also many male students were lining up obediently. These were the male students who wanted to get in the position after Wen Jiao kicked Fu Nanli out. These were the suitors lining up from the south gate to the north gate of the school. Qin Bei took a small electric fan and helped his young master fan the flames. Since we are graduating today, let's fulfill their wishes. Young master, don't be angry. He received a cold look from his young master. Do you think I am angry? Qin Bei. Master, would you please put your fist down first? Lu Yuyo stepped forward to wipe Wen Qiao's sweat from time to time. Wen Qiao took a sip of salt soda and was about to cry. I feel like a pretend emperor in a film and television city who specializes in taking photos. My main job has become taking photos. Then stop taking pictures. Wen Qiao waved his hand. It's graduation season, let's finish filming. This shoot lasted from 3 o'clock in the afternoon to 6 o'clock in the evening. Not only students from Yanjian came to take photos, but also many students from nearby Fukai University and Hixi Opera came to take photos with her. Wen Qiao kept smiling professionally all afternoon, but in the evening, the muscles on his face were extremely stiff. After everyone dispersed, Sulu sat on the flower bed in front of Minal building and opened a can of beer. Wen Qiao is so beautiful. The eldest young master's boyfriend came to cheer her up. Zhuangyan gave her flowers. So many people, boys and girls, took photos with her. In 4 years, she really made a complete counterattack. As for her, her boyfriend, oh no, should be called the sponsor, can only hide in the dark, and she will not be able to see the light of her life from now on. With a bang, the can of beer was thrown to the ground, and she pulled off her bachelor's hat. Behind her, a girl was whispering, didn't she complete all the credits? Why can't she graduate with us? I heard that it was unspoken by a certain big shot in the entertainment industry. It's so shameless. I got to the position by sleeping with you. She looks quite proud. Sulu turned around and walked up to the two girls and took the graduation certificates from their hands. Zhou Xinjiao, Fang Anan, very good, I remember you too. After saying that, he walked away from the two girls arrogantly. The two girls sneered softly, you are so crazy after being taken over by someone. This kind of person really has no sense of etiquette, justice, or shame. These two girls were both majoring in folk music, one was a Guhan player and the other was an Erhu player. They were originally admitted to the Yingjia Theatre Orchestra. However, 2 days later, they received a notice of dismissal and they were dismissed together. The two girls knew immediately that it must be Sulu who was secretly causing trouble. She is so mean. I saw a Bentley coming to pick her up that day. I heard from some friends in the circle that she seemed to be having an affair with Yao Zhangmuo, the boss of Tai's Hang Entertainment. We are not talking nonsense. She has always liked to play tricks. She graduated successfully through the back door without completing her credits. Just because we hid her home, she asked the orchestra to fire us. It's shameless. In midsummer, Wen Qiao went to the film and television city to visit Zhoutao. She took a break and photographed advertisements and magazines. She recently took on a fashion drama, which mainly tells the story of a small-town girl who accidentally gets into the top of the top 5 glossy domestic magazines. The story of working in a fashion magazine, from being an assistant at the lowest level to becoming a devil in the fashion industry. The male protagonist was discovered by Lu Yuyo, and the boy who replaced Dong Yao was named Zhuang Heng. It fits Wen Qiao's aesthetics very well. He looks very spiritual, both good and evil, tall, with long legs, a high nose bridge, and thin lips. Amnesiac Bigshot remembers only me, the boss lost his memory and only remembers me. Author, Ding Jiashu. Chapter 1348. The only regret was that he was not from a major and his acting skills were lacking, but she saw his potential and felt that he was a good prospect worth polishing. So he took the role for him and planned to let Zhoutao guide him to hone his acting skills. After an actor becomes famous, there is a problem, fans like to care too much. She and Yuyo must have given Zhoutao everything they had and provided them with the best resources that were most suitable for Zhoutao. However, the fans were not happy. After learning that Zhuang Heng was the newly signed artist of Nanqiao Entertainment, they started to make a fuss, saying that Wen Qiao used Zhoutao to carry the newcomer's sedan chair, saying that this kind of movie must be a bad movie, just to help the newcomer. It is said that Zhou Tao has become a tool man in the entertainment industry. Wen Qiao. Have they read the script? Have they seen the makeup photos? They don't know anything, so why do they think it's a bad movie? Fans left messages under Zhou Tao's Weibo. Sister, don't be afraid. If you really don't like this show, then refuse it. No one can morally kidnap you to star in a bad movie. Sister, please cherish your feathers. You are already the best newcomer at the Golden Lion Award. This kind of fashion drama in China is basically a joke. It can easily look like a copycat and cannot give you that sense of luxury. You can quit now before it's too late. If Wen Qiao forces you to act in this drama, just tell us. Don't think that because she has the backing of the Fu family, she has no fear of exploiting her actresses. Could it be that the newcomer Zhuang Heng was having an affair with her? Otherwise, as a newcomer with no experience at all, why would he be able to cooperate with a top female leader? Don't think that our sister is easy to bully. We, Peach, were the first to refuse. When I saw that Zhuang Heng looked like a duck, he had such a low temperament. On the set, Zhuang Heng looked at the comments on his Weibo and looked at his assistant. I look like a duck? This is new. This is the first time I heard about it. The assistant waved his hand. Please close the comments. Some fans are really irrational. Don't let this affect your mood. Zhuang Heng looked in the mirror and squeezed a pimple on his chin. Do I look like a duck? This look is really not good. Outside the studio, some of Zhou Tao's station ladies and die-hard fans were sitting under a tree in the scorching Sunday. Everyone had a professional SLR camera in their hands, waiting for Zhou Tao to take some photos when he got off work. Seeing Wen Qiao get out of the car, those people rushed over as if they were drunk. Some people threw drinks at her, and the bodyguards immediately stood beside her and blocked the attack for her. Overwhelming curses came over her. Wen Qiao, please treat our Daisy well. If you dare to use her to carry the bride's sedan chair or let her act in a bad movie, I won't spare you. It was a hot day, and Lu Yuya was so angry that she almost cursed, but knowing that she was also the vice president of Nanqiao Company, and her words and deeds represented the company's image, she could only endure the bad breath and try to explain. You have never understood this movie. TV series, how can you be so sure it's a bad movie? Are there any great fashion films in China? They are all ridiculously earthy fashion films. They will definitely be ridiculed when they are released. Lu Yuya was speechless. What nonsense are you talking about? There are no good fashion films in China. Does that mean Zhou Tao's acting is also bad? Our clothes, shoes, bags, and cosmetics are all top international brands. Our fashion. The consultant is the editor-in-chief of one of the top 5 domestic magazines, and there are also many domestic models making guest appearances. Can fans find out more about it, or don't be fooled by others? You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Amnesiac. Bigshot remembers only me. The boss lost his memory and only remembers me. Author, Ding Jiashu. Chapter 1349. Obviously, someone was setting the pace, and there was a scumbag mixed in among the big fans. This kind of problem was quite serious, and she had to find out the scumbag. The top domestic fans are the hardest to serve. Their idols have fewer schedules, and they say that the economic companies are useless and cannot receive resources. Their idols have too many schedules, and they also say that the economic companies are squeezing their idols. In short, there is no way to satisfy them. Fans seemed to be completely unable to listen to what Lu Yuya said, and felt that she was just quibbling. As long as she brought in new people, the quality of the film would definitely not be good. There was no other way, so the bodyguards had no choice but to escort the two of them into the set. It was photographed that Zhou Tao tried to change her outdated clothes for the first time. She asked the company's stylist to choose an outfit for her. She had long straight hair, a black and red short woolen coat, and a leather skirt that reached her knees. Long boots, punk and youthful, beautiful, and eye-catching. Everyone's eyes will light up when they see her. This scene is about her appearing in the show to amaze everyone. Zhou Tao is very impressive, and the reactions of passers-by are actually on point. Because she is really stunning, everyone does not try to act, they all act in their true colors. This scene was filmed twice and passed smoothly. It was a hot day. As soon as Zhou Tao finished filming, she took off her woolen coat. Xiao Ai handed over a small fan, the makeup and hair are so high-end. This production team is reassuring. Seeing Wen Qiao, Zhou Tao waved her hand, and Lu Yuyu brought her a drink and said bitterly, "Your fans are still outside the studio. Doesn't it affect your filming?" Zhou Tao, "They didn't make things difficult for you, right?" Lu Yuyu shrugged, "It feels like we are pushing you into a pit of fire." Zhou Tao felt helpless, "I will post on Weibo tonight to restrain the fans." Lu Yuyu gritted her teeth and said, "There are a few of your big fans who have been stirring up trouble and instigating conflicts between other fans and the economic company. I have already asked someone to investigate. We will talk about it after we find out." "Good. Is Zhuangheng okay?" Wen Qiao asked. "He's quite good. He's the stuff of this bowl of rice. Because he's a newcomer, his acting skills are a bit stiff, but he can be trained. After the director talks twice, he'll understand, and his acting is very smart." Wen Qiao smiled. Yu had good eyesight. After chatting for a while, they experienced another fan commotion when they left the set. Zhou Tao personally escorted them out and had a conversation with the fans. "When I was nothing, I was signed by Wen Qiao. In the past 3 years, she let me act in the popular fairy tale drama, the heroine Gongdo drama with an excellent production team, and also acted in an outstanding film that can be nominated for the Golden Lion Award. Although the male protagonist of this drama is a newcomer, the director, screenwriter, and staff in all aspects are serious people who love this industry. I believe in my boss, and please believe in me. I won't take on roles casually, and my boss has always been responsible towards me. This TV series will definitely surprise you when it comes out." Having said this, the people who caused the trouble did not dare to make any more trouble. Wen Qiao and the others successfully left the set. The car was driving slowly and passed by the studio next door. I saw 2 familiar people arguing with another familiar person. It was Zhou Xinjiao and Fang Anan who were quarreling with Sulu and seeking to settle a score with her. Sulu finished filming a scene, and there were no staff around. The 3 of them stood under the big tree. The 2 of them were blushing, but Sulu was calm. "Sulu, are you shameless? Why do you want the orchestra to fire us? Amnesiac Bigshot remembers only me, the boss lost his memory and only remembers me." Author, Ding Jiashu. Chapter 1350. Sulu smiled slightly, "There is no evidence, so don't talk nonsense, or I will sue you for slander. You dare to do it or not? It seems that your sponsor is no more than that. Is he afraid that he can't protect you?" A cold light flashed in Sulu's eyes. "If the orchestra fires you, it means that your level is not good enough, so don't blame others. In addition, don't act like a talkative woman in the future, gossiping behind your back. You guys are really not worthy of working in a theater orchestra." Zhou Xinjiao snorted coldly, "We don't deserve it? At least we are above board. All our grades are obtained by our own efforts. We got A level in the graduation exam. We are upright. A despicable person like you hides behind a man and enjoys being a man. If you give away honors and suppress those who work hard, you will be punished." After saying that, he dragged Fang Anan and stormed out of the set angrily. Sulu curled her lips and smiled, "Idiot." This scene was caught in the eyes of Lu Yuyu and Wen Qiao. Lu Yuyu held her chin and said, "Some people are completely depraved." Wen Qiao looked at the back and shook his head. It had nothing to do with her. She is young, 22 years old, when she should be fighting for a better life, but she chooses the most despicable means to get to the top. Just get to the top. She also suppresses others and easily destroys other people's efforts. How could her moral values be distorted? Is it like this? When? Oh, from the moment her mother took the opportunity to seize other people's happiness, the seeds of taking shortcuts had already taken root and sprouted in her young heart. How easy it is to rely on others, how hard it is to rely on yourself. Just like her mother, she is a daughter, a high-flying flower who cannot live without relying on a man. As the car slowly drove away from the entrance of the studio, Wen Qiao saw the two girls walking along the path, filled with indignation, as if they were attacking Su Lu. Lu Yuyu said, "Zhou Xinjiao and Fang Anan are pretty good, at least they didn't rebel when Min Le changed sides. Their level is not to say top-notch, but it's not bad. Moreover, they have a correct attitude and train hard. In the end, they were admitted to Su. It's quite tragic for Lu to be like this." Wen Qiao said casually, "Then let's see how capable the financial backers behind Su Lu are. Check which orchestra hired them and help me contact the person in charge." Okay. The person in charge of the Bauhinia Orchestra was a little surprised after receiving Wen Qiao's invitation. Was it also because of the two female students? Do those two female students have any friendship with Wen Qiao? It doesn't seem cost-effective to offend Miss Wen for Mr. Yao's sake. Wen Qiao went to the Bauhinia Orchestra specifically to find He Jun backstage. He Jun warmly received Wen Qiao. Which orchestra that wanted to recruit talents didn't want to include Wen Qiao? Including He Jun of the Bauhinia band, he also had such an idea. Zhou Xinjiao and Fang Anan, I think these two alumni of mine are good, what do you think, Mr. He? He Jun considered it and said, "Are you interceding for them?" Wen Qiao said calmly, "If someone gives you trouble, Mr. He can tell me my name, and I can keep your orchestra safe, what do you think?" He Jun breathed a sigh of relief. With Wen Qiao's words, who did he need to be afraid of? As a result, Zhou Xinjiao and Fang Anan experienced ups and downs in life within a few days. When they received a call from Mr. He asking them to return to the band, they couldn't believe it.